Who's first? Yeah. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for making it to the customer data science meetup February. My name is Adam. Thank you all for coming. Very excited for today's speakers. We have two. Before we get started, obviously, I'd love to thank One Piece for letting us stay here. One Piece is a co-working space, and they've actually let CDS host here a couple times. I know a few have been to some of those early ones, and we're happy to be here again. Also, feel free to grab some more pizza, some more drinks throughout the time. Without further ado, I'd love to invite our first speaker, Nahum. He's in the back. Please give him a round of applause. Thank you so much. I'll give you the floor. Thank you. Yeah.
Hello. So my name's Nahum. I am a data scientist over at Guitar Center. Just to kind of feel the room, how many people here have heard of Guitar Center, know what it is? That's a good amount, and that's a good thing. So for those who don't know, we're a musical instrument retailer. We sell guitars, drums, and all the tools necessary to produce and make music. And today I'm going to be talking to you about how we've been leveraging machine learning for our direct mail campaigns. And yeah. So just to give you an overview for those who don't know, but those who have shopped at us probably know, we have sales during all the holidays. These sales are for President's Day, Memorial Day, Labor Day, and we usually have some sort of coupon and a lot of discounts on our products. And for those campaigns, we end up sending these catalogs over to our customers so that they're aware of all the products we have sales in, and they get the coupon in the back so that they can use it at our stores. Last year, we decided to hold out a random group of customers, just anyone who's shopped in the last 3 years, so that we can look at all of the aspects about that customer and try to see if we can predict who are going to be the best customers to target for these campaigns. So the goal that was set out to us from our marketing leadership was to create this process where we can get our mailable universe, pass it through some sort of machine, whatever that may be, and then have that machine label out the best customers to pick. There's a lot of very broad terminology that they gave us when they first gave us this project, which was the first task we needed to solve. What does best mean? What does machine mean? So in defining best, it's not super complicated. Really what we're trying to find is those customers who are going to be the most motivated to take some action because they got this marketing campaign. So that desired action that we want is obviously for them to come to our store and to buy something. Specifically to come to a store when they weren't going to, or to spend more than they were going to before. The way we're going to try to get them to do that is through these deals and the coupon that we have. So the theory is, if you're a guitarist and you haven't bought something in a while, you get a catalog that shows you that guitar you've been kind of looking at online. It has a sweet discount. You're going to go and buy it, even though if you wouldn't have done that catalog, you wouldn't have done it. So the numbers that we have to put in our model to predict this then become those sales and conversions from those customers, sales and conversions into the products we put into the catalogs, as well as using that coupon. But the big challenge we ran into here is that it needs to be incremental. It can't just be because we saw them buy something, we're now going to assume it was because of the catalog. And so because of that, we realized we weren't going to be able to build some model at the individual level. We weren't going to be able to just get those numbers and plug in logistic regression and figure out these are the variables we need to look at, because really what we were going to read is just this customer was going to shop 3 months from now, not this customer was going to shop because of our mailing. We also realized that one of the things we need into our model is going to be what is in the book and how does that relate to the customer. If you're a drummer and we send you a bunch of guitars, it's probably not going to do anything for you. So we really need to take into account how big is the discount we're offering, or how good is the deal, and whether or not you shop in those categories. And so we came up with a theory that essentially if we're going to try to predict that they're going to buy incrementally from us, we need to account something about the customer's behavior. We need to account something about the motivations in the book and how they relate to the customer. And we can mix that together, and that should equal somehow the likelihood that they're going to buy incrementally from us. And so we have now our predictors, or we have an idea of what we're trying to build, what the machine's going to look like. And so we came up with a prototype that took that into account. So because we knew we couldn't do stuff at the individual level, we went ahead and we tried to cluster our customers and segment them and get customers that look like each other into different groups, and then we could see how they did in those desired metrics. So if one group had an average sales of $10 and their control had an average sales of 8, we know that this group probably does good with this kind of marketing campaign. And because we built the cluster based on the features that describe the customer and the appeal of the motivation to that customer, our assumption here is that they should, any other customer that is in this cluster should have some similar reaction to the campaign. And so we did this for the sample that we held out. We went ahead and found the cluster that had the best performance, and for this President's Day mailing, to test it out, we ended up choosing those clusters. I wanted to stop here and ask if everyone's familiar with the k-means algorithm. Do I need to explain that? I see heads nodding. If someone wants me to explain it, let me know. But so this was kind of the prototype that we built. And to get a little bit more specific into the features that we added into this model, we took, for customer behavior, the sales overall that the customer had. So do they tend to be big spenders or low spenders? Do they tend to be frequent spenders or infrequent spenders? We took what their product mix was like. So do you always buy just strings and picks and accessories, or are you buying core products often like guitars and drums? We took how often they're discounting, because this is a discounted piece, and so it's kind of one of the behaviors we're looking for. And then we did this interesting thing with recency and frequency, where we calculated the probability of being active based on some paper that we found that we thought might be a better way to make sense of the fact that the customer's reason. Because really, when we're looking at recency and frequency, we're trying to figure out, is that customer shopping or not? Is this customer long gone? Is there not going to be any hope of convincing them to buy? Or are they still an active member of the Guitar Center customer base? And so we might be able to convince them to buy because of that. For the appeals and motivation, we took the discounts by the product categories. We took how many of the deals we have in the book, and we took the customer's relationship to that category. So what percentage of their sales are coming from those categories? And yeah, so we add those, and I want to talk a little bit more about the more interesting features that we had versus just the overall sales. For the probability of being active, this is the equation that we found from the white paper. If you want to read more about it, there's a link in the PowerPoint that should be shared. But essentially the way this works, it's using the biology probability of being alive, which takes your death rate and the rebirth rate of a species, and then calculates how likely is the species of continuing on, and from there extrapolates kind of what the birth rate of a customer is. For the different rates that we had for the appeal of the motivation, we had the percentage of SKUs that were guitar that were in the book, the percentage off we had in the book, and the percentage of sales that a customer had in guitars. But we needed a way to kind of consider all those together, because book by book, the percentage discount isn't going to change, and the percentage of guitars that are in the book isn't going to change. And so we needed to account for that percentage of sales they have in the guitar equally, and we use this thing called a harmonic mean to try to do that, so that no one rate kind of pushes everything out of the, or takes control of what that measure is. Because if you have a really big discount, that might be the only thing we're reading if we took just a straight up average of these rates. So, this is an example of kind of the way we evaluated the clusters. We looked at what the clusters were, and so we took out kind of what those centroids were for each one and what they meant. So you can kind of see cluster 1 is our very active guitar customers. You can see cluster 2 ended up being very inactive accessory purchasers. They don't really have any big appeal to the guitar and drum discount that we have in the book. And then we evaluated the performance. The cluster 2 only had 2% lift in sales. The cluster 1 had 20% lift in sales. And so for our President's Day, we would have picked that cluster 1. One of the cool things we did too is we're trying to see if the distance to the center of the cluster ends up getting us better results. If you're closer to that ideal customer, do you end up performing better than someone who's farther away? But that also lets us kind of limit our list to the quantities we want to make and we're willing to spend. The testing we're doing for this is so we tried out this machine, this process for President's Day. We don't have the data to share yet. We're still evaluating how it did. Preliminary, it's still a bit weak, but for us, we're seeing this more as a mechanical test versus a software test. We wanted to make sure that we can actually do this, use the sequel, get the list out to the printer, and have it be something we can repeat later on. So as we perfect the model and get it better, we start getting better results. To evaluate, what we're really looking for is that consistency in the cluster performance. We want to make sure that they're behaving similarly throughout campaigns so that when we pick for a future campaign, we're not going to have the numbers all change wildly. And then we're also comparing that versus some other selection strategies we could have taken. And we're still holding out a random control to kind of see if we didn't use a model, if we just did random, is the random performing better than our cluster selection method? And yeah, I think that's all I have.
So when you showed your cluster slide, that had the two clusters. You showed the cluster one was the high performing. There were some attributes of that cluster that, going into this problem, you wouldn't be too surprised about. Like, you would hypothesize that someone who spends a lot, that is pretty active, trying to use your discounts, that they probably respond well to this. So I'm sure to some extent that learning wasn't a shocker to you, but I can imagine in the process of getting to that conclusion, there must have been some things you learned about user behavior that was maybe kind of not intuitive or unconventional. I'm curious if you could share maybe something about users that you learned from the experience that was surprising to you.
Yeah, so I would say two from there. One that we were seeing was very high performance from the people with the high tech discount score. And I think that has to do where we're seeing those good tech products that ends up being a better motivation than the really big guitar sales. My theory there is that you always see guitar sales, but some of the tech products aren't always on sale, so it becomes a much more impactful appeal. And that's one of the things we kind of want to take into account in the next iterations as we're building those discount scores, to take into account how often do you see that kind of discount for those products. The other thing that we're seeing, but I think is more an error in the formula itself, we saw a lot of the low probability of being active customers having high lift. The best theory to make us look better is that these are kind of those at-risk customers who are maybe going to go away, but because we send them this, now they're reactivated. I think the better theory is that there might be something wrong with the probability of being active equation, and so we might need to redo that to get it better. Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about the size of your team, how long it's been part of Guitar Center, and how many projects you've done with marketing in the past, and how this one relates to any of those?
Yeah, so I came originally from the customer data analytics team, and the customer data analytics has been around probably 5-10 years. The customer data science is a team of one, which is me, and it's about 6 months old. Yeah, this is one of the first big projects we're taking on. We're doing some other stuff with email as well. But I would say we have a very long history of kind of doing deep analytics in our marketing, at least very much in our direct mail and our email. Direct mail itself is kind of one of our staples. Some of our brands are big catalog companies. We've been a long time Guitar Center customer. I think you know that those catalogs are kind of a signature of our brand. And so we've had a rich history of data analytics in terms of building predictive models. Generally, we've been doing that through third-party vendors, and so my department is kind of get cool, start bringing some of that back in. Specifically in the musician industry, there's a lot of specialized information about those kind of customers that I think is hard for third-party vendors to get.
Were you a data scientist and you studied it, and then you just said, hey, I want to start this, and it finally happened?
Yeah, and I mean, I think, most retailers and a lot of companies are looking at data science as kind of an area people need to start investing in. So it was a kind of a mix of, at least I think, management thinking they have a talent and the desire to start doing this kind of stuff with more senior. So, yeah.
How did you choose the number of clusters you were aiming?
So we were mimicking, so we did 20 clusters in the actual model, and we were mimicking kind of two parts. We were mimicking what we had some previous model work done for us, where they had kind of 20 deciles that we were picking from. The other thing we were trying to do is have enough variation to where we're not just getting all the customers in one cluster or another one, and all the best ones fall into another one. We needed room to have different types of clusters. We needed the guitar customers to emerge and the tech customers to emerge, not just the high discounting customers and non-discounting customers. And so that was kind of the theory behind it. I think 20 might have been too much. There wasn't enough variation in the clusters to make me think that we were reading the real segments that existed amongst our customer base. But yeah, that was kind of the reason for we went with 20.
And how did you measure strength of how many clusters?
In terms of the performance between them, that was the lift in sales overall. So we took the sales we had.
The clusters themselves. How did you know it was a good cluster?
So the two numbers we should be looking at is going to be kind of the distance and how significant those are. We didn't do too strong of an evaluation on our clusters, I would say, this time around. We were kind of on a deadline to get the list opener. Yeah, since one of the things we want to look at is the distance of the cluster and how significant it is versus the distance to another cluster. So if the probability that you're in this cluster is 10% versus any of the other clusters, we know that it's probably not that good of a clustering system, and that would be the way we're kind of approaching it in the future.
So it sounds like a lot of this project was based on your specific work, but how much freedom did you have in this project versus how much was explained to you maybe by your management or superiors?
Fortunately for this one, and because we're a small team, I did get a lot of freedom. The other side was we recently switched over from a previous data vendor that we had, and so we lost the previous model that we had because one, it was not a super accurate model. They fell into the trap of building the logistics regression on just the overall customers. So it was really, really good at getting which customers are going to shop in 3 months. It was not very good at predicting that it was going to be incremental or not. And so that model we no longer had access to, and so we kind of had more free reign to decide how we were going to do this. So yeah, fortunately for me, I think it was very open. I don't know if that's the story for what everyone's products would be.
You mentioned you started running the discounts during President's Day. How long of a time would have to elapse for you to be like super confident in the results of this?
It depends on what the question is. So if what we're trying to do is lift sales during that President's Day period, I'm kind of comfortable starting to pull the numbers as soon as our customers are consolidated. That means because we have different source systems, POS, e-commerce, we have a tool to figure out which ones are the same customer. And so that's usually a 2-day lag, 3-day lag. But if the real goal we're trying to read is, did we lift this customer spending throughout the year or overall, we might have to wait longer because we don't know if all we did was, I think, push the sales back or pull them forward versus actually generating incremental value from the customer.
Did you predict before you released the model how much increase in sales?
Yeah, so predict is I think, stronger word than what we did. We're looking at the results from Labor Day, from that random sample and how those clusters did, and our expectation is that they should behave similarly. And so that's kind of been our prediction. If we saw 20% lift in sales, we're expecting a 20% lift in sales from that cluster. Eventually, the goal is once there's enough data on the clusters, we can start building some sort of logistic regression on the clusters themselves based on that incremental number we're getting. But yeah, our expectations for this time around is just they should behave similarly to how we saw the Labor Day ones behave.
Okay, so Labor Day was a sample.
Yeah,
Feature, just the one.
and that's what we built the clusters on.
So I was wondering, what's the accuracy of your model when you evaluate it?
So the validation that we have, because we're not predicting the incremental results, we're validating are they really in the cluster that they should be. It's an unsupervised model, so we don't really have for sure that this customer was cluster 1. So like I was saying here, our evaluation is the distance that we're reading significant versus the distance to another cluster? And so then, if it is, then we can kind of be pretty sure that this customer in this cluster belongs to that cluster. Eventually, as we take that cluster data and try to build something else on top of it, we should be able to start now have an actual number that we can measure accuracy in. Oh, one more question?
It's more of a business question. Do you think you can get similar results with email? Because catalogs are expensive, right?
Yeah. And that's the goal of us is start kind of applying some of this stuff into the emails as well. Yes, I think a similar concept could work for email. I think because you have so much more tests that you can do with email because of the least cost and the fact that you can be doing it every other day versus having to plan for 3 months for a catalog. I think there might be some better options than what we're doing here. But I do think some of the concepts can apply for email as well. Do one more? Anyone has one?
Do you think the money would be better spent on like personalization?
Not with direct mail. So the problem with direct mail is if you're trying to personalize, it's only adding cost to the piece because the printer then has to do a bunch of different things to add there. So you can see your costs double if you're trying to do some variable covers. And then you need to have a big enough quantity that you're doing the variation on to get that personalization at a good cost. I think it's possible, but it would take
Too much cost.
yeah. Too much cost for personalizing to too big of a chunk of cubes. Makes it difficult.
You mentioned something called email. What's happening with email? Is it dying a death that we should expect anytime in the near future? Because I certainly don't use it. I try to avoid it as much as possible.
I don't think it's dying. I think it's changing. At least from my personal experience, I think there is a new world in the inbox, but it's not send a coupon. It's not provide a discount. It's try to tell stories through it. I know I subscribe to a bunch of newsletters. We have the Red newsletter, and there's a lot of stories I'm interested in hearing that are pretty effectively communicated through email. So I think the landscape is changing, and definitely customers are getting very annoyed with the very heavy discounting and promotional behavior of a lot of brands out there.
That is every website you go to asks you if you want to be part of the, even tonight, I'm asked whether or not I want to have a newsletter.
And it's a great newsletter.
I'm
It's
sure
great.
it's fantastic, but there's only so much time in the day.
And yeah, I think it's definitely changing from where it was before. I don't think it's dying though. It's too, at the very least for the marketer side of things, it's too cost effective to not have as one of your marketing
So
communications.
what will you do in the event of, or are you planning for the event of the demise of email?
Our plan is to get more personalized and get better content out to customers who want that content, and to stop emailing the customers who don't want that content.
How do you get it to them?
What was that?
How will you get it to them if you don't use email?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's there's a lot of other marketing channels. Yeah.
So interesting. Okay, well, thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Nahum, and congrats on the second round of applause. You got 2 rounds, and I hope your clustering experiment goes well for you and Guitar Center. That'd be great. Juanita, how do I work computers? I'm a technical person. I can figure this out.